Did Genesis copy the Enuma Elish? Part 2. Hey everyone, I'm Josiah and I study comparative mythology, and I'm a huge advocate for looking at what the texts actually have to say on a subject. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into linguistics of Genesis 1-2 and how it contrasts to the Akkadian language of the Enuma Elish. So Genesis 1-2 reads, "And darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters." Now the word for deep here is the Hebrew Tehom, that some scholars argue is linguistically similar or related to the Akkadian Tiamat, which is the main deity that's in the Enuma Elish that gets slain by Marduk. Furthermore, Tehom doesn't have a definitive article on it, meaning it's just deep, not the deep. So some scholars theorize this might mean it's actually a name. Now let's break down that argument. First and foremost, it's important to keep in mind that just because two words sound alike in the same family of languages, that doesn't mean that they mean the same thing. Perfect example of this is in German, dick means you're plus-sized, versus in English, it's a nickname. So vague linguistic relation doesn't mean that the Hebrews were defining a deity here or that they changed the Enuma Elish to fit their narrative. It's just a common sounding word across two languages. So what about the definitive article? Because Tehom doesn't have a the in front of it, right? Well, if we look just a little bit before it, it says darkness was over the surface of the deep. Darkness also doesn't have a definitive article. So are we going to pick and choose that Tehom might mean a deity because it aligns with the Enuma Elish to fit a narrative? But we're not going to say that about Hoshek, which is the Hebrew word for darkness, because there's no darkness deity in the Enuma Elish? And we get further clarity when we go to the end of the verse when it says the Spirit of God is hovering over the face of the waters. There is a definitive article for waters in Hebrew. It's ha-mayim, ha being the definitive article. So sure, it does sound like an interesting possibility on the surface, but when we actually dig into the text and what it says and what it means, this idea doesn't hold water at all. There's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet, but if you're tired about myth on myth and you want to seek the truth, be sure to like and subscribe for more.